Hi guys, welcome back. So today I am fishing local-ish to me on the North Kent coast. This is what I would say my first proper hound session of the season, really. Yeah, I did have a little session a few weeks back, but you know, that was like beginning of April, so yeah, I was lucky to get a pup out. Really, there was a few coming out here and there, but you know, nothing like they should be now. You know, this is the time. It's now the, what is it, the 4th of May. So yeah, should have a good chance tonight. Now it's calmed down a bit. It was a little bit choppy earlier when I went to collect some crabs at low tide. The wind's dropped a bit. It's flattened out, as you can see. There is a bit of colour in the water. So the plan was tonight I was going to fish the ebb in darkness, because high tide is literally just after 9. So you know, by the time the sun sets it gets proper dark. It's going to be, yeah, about 9ish. So yeah, I was going to just fish the ebb tonight and then move somewhere after 2-3 hours of fishing here on the ebb, and then go and fish a low tide somewhere for a couple of hours. But seeing as there's a bit of colour in the water, I might start fishing in a minute and get some baits out there, because even though it's daylight, it should still have a good chance for some hounds as the water's coloured. Yeah, it's turned out quite lovely out there. Bait wise, I've only got hardbacks. There's a couple of softies in there. To be fair, I only really use hardbacks on the hounds. I don't go out of my way to get peelers. Don't think you need them on the North Kent coast. You know, I mean, as the water's a little bit coloured out there, peeler might give me a little advantage tonight, but you know, it doesn't matter. They'll still pick them out in there. Yeah, I'll get some rigs set up in a second. As you can see, I've got my rod set up, but I ain't put the rigs on yet. I'm just going to show you the rigs in a minute and show you how to bait up a crab quickly, if you haven't seen one of my previous videos. Yeah, so it's now, what, 3 hours before high. I'm going to get a bait out in a second, as I said. If there's any hounds coming in, you know, as I said, the water's a little bit coloured, so I could have a chance. Right, anyway, I'll grab a rig and I'll show you what rigs I'm using and how to bait up. Right, so the first rig I'm using tonight, because I'm using 2 different types, is an up and over rig with a dongle on it. I have had a video on the channel, if you want to look back on that, to show you how I make my up and over dongle rigs. I haven't done one for the next rig yet, but if you want me to, I'll show you a video sometime how to make that one. So up and over, so up and over clip, or genie clip as they call them, at the top. 80-pound rig body. Sorry, I'm really tired. Down to a bead, pulley bead with a quick link clip, splashdown clip onto my lead, then another bead, there's swivel, then 60-pound hook length, and then I've got a 4.0 Cox and Rule stinger hook tied on with a perfection knot, and then there's my dongle, just 300-pound braid, put a couple of knots in it to stop the bait from sliding down, and then a little loop on there. I normally use a split ring, but I haven't got any. I like the way the split rings release from the splashdown clip. There's no failure in it, you know, they do it every time. But yeah, simple knot like that is absolutely fine. They do work. Now the next rig I'm going to be using is a pulley dropper rig with a dongle on it. So obviously your lead at the end, splashdown clip, 80-pound rig body again. I would say this was about I don't know, 3.5 foot long. Then you have a bead, then a bent rig clip, as you can see there. So that sits on like this. Yeah, I'll show you how that works in a second. Then going further along, another bead, then a pulley, any kind of pulley you want to use. I just like using these Trident ones on these ones, they're quite good. Another bead, and swivel at the end. Then your hook length, £60 for the hook length. Swivel on the end. Now this clips onto the bent rig clip, as you can see. I mean, they're quite handy. You can knock up a load of these hook lengths and keep them in your wallet. If you want to bait up, you haven't got to take the whole rig off. They're really good to do. So that clips on like that. And then again, same hook, same knot, same dongle as the up and over rig I'm using. I'll put this together quickly, if I can, show you how it works. It's easier on the rod, but I'll see if I can do it now. So, here's your hook length. Might have to stand back a little bit to show you how this works. If you can see that properly, can you? Try and stand over here, might be a bit easier. So basically, you got your rig clip, so your pulley at the top, that's obviously connected to your rod. Then there's your bent rig clip about here. So your hook length connects onto that, and then the swivel at the end of your rig body comes down, clips onto there. Okay, that holds it all in place as you cast out. Then when the lead hits the water, it releases the hook from the splashdown clip and then releases the hook length from the top there like that, slides up, and then the hook length slides all the way down to the bottom. It's free running, you've got plenty of movement there, you know, so the fish can get hold of it, pull it either way, and then eventually it'll lock up. As I said, they're brilliant rigs. I'll do a video sometime, show you how to make them, but yeah, that's the gist of it. Right, I'll get a crab on there, show you how to do that in a second, and then I'll get some baits out. As I said, I only got hardbacks. I've got the odd softie, I might save them until it gets dark. Excuse me. So what I like to do is just put a little bit of cotton on the braid on the dongle, just to help start you off. Then get a hardback crab, try and find a green one, because they normally work best. That's about the right size you want. Yeah, 50p sort of size. I think that one could actually be a peeler. Let's check it. No, not quite a peeler. A little bit soft. Right, so what I like to do is see the your first knot on the dongle. Get your two back legs there, and then just put the knot just past the legs there. Wrap a bit of cotton around the body, not too tight to start with, you know, it's just to get you started, so you can line it all up properly. A little bit more around the legs. So normally I'll do this the other way around, but camera's all set up and everything as it is. So I just want to get a bait out. I'm going to show you like this for a second. So just put a bit around the legs, and then yeah, you only want to do 2 legs at the bottom either side really. I'll explain why in a second. You go over to the other side, bind the other legs on. You can see like that, where that knot is there. And then you can start going a bit harder on the body. Don't worry about putting too much elastic on there. No, you can't really go overboard on it. You want to make sure it don't slip off at the end of the day. Yeah, and then back round to the legs on the left hand side. I think the camera might have flipped, so left is right and right is left, but you get the gist of it. It's in selfie mode at the moment, so I can see what I'm doing. Alright, a little loop in it. And there you go. So as you can see, that's how it sits. Okay, you've got your loop on your dongle there, so you can hook it into your splashdown clip. Yeah, hook sits at the top there. So obviously the smooth hound comes along, grabs a hold of the crab, and then good 98% of the time, to be fair, they normally get lip hooked, don't get deep hooked. Even dogfish, one thing I love about the dongle rigs, it's had a lot of criticism recently for some certain people, you know, saying they've missed bites and stuff like that, which you can, you know, but you can miss bites on the panel rig anyway, you know. The reason I love using these, especially for the hounds, is because, as I said, I like to use hardback crabs. You know, they're free. You go and pick them up yourself. Don't cost you nothing. And they do work well. I tend to find, you know, a lot of people will tell you that do use hardbacks, a good majority of the time they will pick out the bigger hounds. So it's, you know, I'm not saying that the big hounds won't go for peeler crabs, because they will, obviously, but you know, just personal preference at the end of the day. I like using hardbacks. You can keep them alive. End of the day, the smooth hounds are hunting on, you know, movement and scent as well, you know. This is just what they're looking for. Yeah, anyway, so as I was saying, the reason I like using dongles is because you can tie them up like that, and you know, you're not putting a hook through it, you're not damaging it, so it will stay out there for a long time. I've left them out there for an hour before, reeled them in, they're still alive and kicking, you know. So and they're free moving like this. You can leave them on the floor, you know, and they'll, this one's not very lively to be fair, but they'll just walk around. I don't know if you're going to see a bite in a second, but I couldn't get the camera on quick enough. My rod's just lifted up, so could be there. There you go. There's a slight little pull on there. I'm going to wait for it to develop a little bit. Make sure the hound hooks up properly. If it is a hound, I've got a feeling it might be. If it is, should get a little pull down in a second. Wait for it to go on a run. Definitely got a bit of tip action there. See that, guys? Could be a small one. Definitely something on there. See, sometimes if you've got a small hound, you know, they don't always go on a run. So you can get a slack liner, you know, the rod will lift up. That hasn't developed into a slack liner, but the rod is lifting up slightly, so there is something having to play about with it. When you get the bigger ones, they do tend to go on a run most of the time. You know, if they're swimming away from you, obviously your rod will double over. If they're swimming towards you, that's when you get slack line. You know, most people will know this, anyone that's into fishing, but you know, this is just a bit of info for people that don't really fish for smooth hands. Rays do the same thing as well. Yeah, just people that are new to the game, really. Definitely something having a play. So I'm gonna see if there's anything on there, guys. That sounds good. Yeah, something just surfaced out there. So could be a little hound swimming towards me a bit. If it is just a small one, or it's just swimming faster than I can reel in. Definitely one on there though. Right, I'm gonna go down to the water, guys, land it. Yeah, here's a hound, and it's not a bad size, really. 3-4 pound maybe. There we go. First hound of the session. It's worth getting the baits out early. I'll get it unhooked. I'll bring you back in a second when I've weighed it. It's only going to be a few pounds. Actually, guys, wait there. I'm going to unclip this. Show you one reason why I love the dongle. Most of you will know this anyway. Alright, so as you can see, perfectly lip hooked in the corner. Hopefully you can see that. I haven't got it in selfie mode, so yeah, but there you go. Alright, I'll get it unhooked, get it back, I'll get it weighed, I'll let you know what it is in a second. It's definitely nowhere near a PB, but you know, just to see what it is, as it's my first hound of the session. Might be the only one, who knows. So I'll there you go, like that, just like that. Yeah, it's only going to be about 2-3 pound. Even the little ones are aggressive. Calm down a second. And there you go. Nice little starry female. Anyone that don't know, males have the male parts coming out the bottom there. You don't seem to land males very often off the shore. It's mostly females, you know. But yeah, you do get the odd ones. But yeah, lovely little starry. I'll get it weighed. There we go. £4.2. You know, not bad from the first one, really. It beats the pup I had a few weeks ago, but you know, that was well early into the season. You know, don't seem to get many about, you know, beginning of April, but it warmed up pretty early this year. We didn't have many frost and stuff, did we, this winter? So hounds turn up a bit early. Some people had some decent ones out, mostly when I was at work, as it goes. But yeah, all right, I'll get it back. Cheers, guys. What I like to do, most people do for that matter, is always have a rig or two spare, made up, and get them baited up, ready to go. You know, if you put a swivel on your shot leader, whatever clip you're using at the end of your rig, You can just swap them over. It's quick and easy to do. I mean, hounds, rays, you know, they swim around in packs. So, you know, if there's a few of them about in front of you, you don't want your rods out of the water too long. You know, reel it in, take the rig off, put a new one on there, and you get it straight back out of them. It just gives you an advantage, you know. So if there is a little pack out there, you might pick up another one. You know, if you leave it too long because you're baiting up another rig or whatever, you know, them fish might have swum onto the next groin, or, you know, wherever you're fishing, swum up the beach somewhere, and then you miss them. So yeah, I mean, as you know, I'm using one up and over and one pulley dropper rig tonight. So I've got one of each spare made up, and all I do is get them made up, ready to go. It's another reason why I love using these hardbacks on the dongle, because as I said, you know, it doesn't harm the crab. So you can bait them up, and you can just leave them sitting there in the bucket, you know, ain't gonna damage them or ain't gonna die. You're not doing no harm this way because you're not putting a hook for them. That left hand rod keeps lifting up. I don't know if it's tide pull or if there's another small hound on there. I'll check it in a bit and see. Get these baited up. Right, there's one. Yeah, so I mean, still got over, well, just under actually. Yeah, just under 2 hours to a high tide. But you know, to have a hound out that early in daylight, you know, it's a good sign for what sort of session I could potentially have tonight. As I said, I've still got another mark to go to after this. This one's a peeler actually. That's going out. What I do with the peelers is just take a little bit of the back shell off. I don't want to damage it too much, as I said. You want it to still move around a bit, but just take a little bit off. A little bit off like that, just to get some scent out of there. Yeah, anyway, so I've got just under 2 hours of the flood here, and then 2 or 3 hours of the ebb. You know, see how it goes, and then move on to the next mark and fish that over low. I'll do an hour either side of low there, depending on how quick the sun comes up, as I said earlier. But yeah, I mean, it's good signs for tonight. Hopefully, guys, should get a few bites and a few hounds on camera for you. Be nice if I can pick out a double. Get the double tally started already. I know there are 1 or 2 about because my mate had one the other night. Well done, Ben, by the way. Yep, that's a hound. Didn't give much of a bite, but it feels like a half decent one. Yep, just see it surface there. You want to go down and land it, guys. There we go. It's actually smaller than the other one by the looks of it. It's got a bit of meat on it though, but just a very aggressive one. Another one nicely lip hooked. There you go. Another little starry. It's very feisty though, this one. Yeah. Not going to bother weighing this one. It's smaller than the other one, I think, so I'll get it back. Cheers, guys. Slack line on the left rod, guys. Looks like the hound's going for a run. It's gone over the other line. Yep, that one's on there. Yep. Back this way. It's a much better fish. Not much better. Probably about £6–7. Hound number 3, another starry, slightly bigger at £6 one. I've missed a couple of bites tonight. Seems to be quite a few hounds here though, which is nice. I'll get this back and get another bait out. Cheers. Right guys, I'm gonna pack up from this mark. I've fished about 2.5 hours of the ebb here. I've had lots of finicky bites all night long. They don't seem to be slamming into the crabs like they normally do. I reckon it's just small hounds just pecking at the baits. Probably doesn't help that I'm using the 4.0 stinger hooks. I don't normally use them. I mean, they're okay on the big hounds, but normally I use a 2.0 or a 3.0 stinger hook. But yeah, I didn't have any of the 2 or 3.0 hooks. I ran out, I didn't realise, so I had to use the 4.0s. Hopefully on the next mark I can pick out some bigger hounds and they hook up properly. But yeah, lots of action. It's been okay, you know. It's only the start of May, so you know it's going to pick up soon. But yeah, lots of bites. Just not many hooking up, unfortunately. We'll see how I get on the next one. I'll see you when I get there. Hi guys, welcome back. So I am at the next mark now, the low tide mark. As you can see, I'm all set up. Got my first bait out there. Got about an hour till low tide, so I'm going to fish an hour down and an hour of the flood, or till whenever it gets light. Normally I only get about an hour and a half on the flood here anyway, because you end up back on these chalk ledges and get snagged up then. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I want to cast that next one out. I'll turn the camera around so you can see me wading out, hopefully. Slack liner, guys. Right then, Rod. I might have missed it. Oh no, still on there. Swimming in with me. It's a small one. Oh, it's a ray. Wasn't expecting that. So it won't put up much of a fight. Hornback. There you go, guys. Wasn't a hound that I expected. Was actually caught on a soft crab, softy we call them. Only £4.7. Some male, you can tell. But what a beauty! Look at the markings on that. I hope you can see that properly. Yeah. Look at that sunrise starting to peek through, guys. This is one reason I love fishing. Get to see amazing views like this that you wouldn't normally see because you're normally in bed sleeping. Yeah, well, unless I've got work, obviously, then I'm awake 4 o'clock. But yeah, don't get to see it from the seaside though. Lovely. Right. Anyway, so it's just over an hour into the flood now. As you can see, sun's coming up. Probably not going to give it much longer. Don't look like the hounds are going to show up yet. If they do, I'll be surprised if they come up when the sun comes up, to be honest. But the water was quite coloured, so you never know. I'll stick it out for a bit longer and see how it goes. If I catch one, I'll probably stay a bit longer. If not, then probably call it a day. Welcome back. We're now on day 2. I didn't do an outro at the last night or early hours this morning. Didn't have any action other than one take, literally as I was just about to pack up. Something pulled my tripod over. I didn't see the bite, it didn't bend or anything, it literally just swam up, so I pulled the tripod over. So yeah, must have been a decent hound. After that I packed up and went home. Got some sleep and stuff, and now I'm back on the first mark where I was last night. So yeah, I'm here tonight with my good friends Keith and Wes. Some of you that know me through Facebook, you know, probably know them as well. Both of them post all the time for the hounds. Both really really good on the hounds. You know, they know their stuff. They do well every year, and they both taught me a lot of what I knew when I first got into fishing. You know, they've both been fishing a long time. As I said, you know, they know their stuff, and I've learned a lot of what I know from them. You know, just tweaked a few things myself. But yeah, so it's good to get back out with them again. I ain't been out with them since last year. Just as I was about to put my first bait out, Keith is to my left. He's reeled one in. I didn't see how much it weighed yet. I haven't actually spoke to him. I was finishing setting up and stuff. So he's off to the mark for the year. First hound. So yeah, good start. Anyway, got about 2.5 hours till high tide. The sun's just setting now, pretty much. So hopefully it should kick off soon. I'll bring you back as soon as I get anything. Cheers, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. Just thought I'd give you a quick update. So Keith and Wes have not long left. Wes had 2 hounds and 1 Thornback Ray. I don't think he weighed them. Keith had 2 hounds. I don't think he weighed them neither. They were sort of between sort of 3-5 pound, I think, something like that. I've only had one take all night. I've only got hardbacks other than one soft crab which I found in the bucket, and it was the only time I had a take. I was sorting my rigs out. I went and got some 2.0 stinger hooks. Obviously yesterday I was using 4.0s and I had a lot of missed bites on them, as I explained, you know, earlier on. But yeah, I thought I'd downsize the hook, so I was sitting there doing them, you know, changing the hooks over and stuff. Looked up and my left rod had been pulled right round. I thought it was just to tide it first because that was on the flood and we were getting pulled right round to the left. The tide run's really strong tonight. I mean, it's ebbing out now. I mean, it's well, a couple of hours into the ebb now, and it's still pulling right round to the right. So yeah, I didn't see the bite or anything like that. Reeled in, the soft crab had been mullered, so yeah, I missed that one. I don't think the hardbacks are doing me very good tonight. The water's a lot more coloured than it was last night. It was quite choppy today when we got here. Obviously, a couple of days of it being choppy, it's just got more coloured. I mean, as I explained, you can catch in coloured water with hardbacks, but when it's this coloured and there's not that many hounds around, I think you do need peeler to give you a bit of an advantage. You know, the hounds are not really hunting on sight or movement as such when the water's this coloured. You know, they need a bit of scent there, really. You know, unless there's loads of hounds around, you know, they just smash into anything they can find. But yeah, it's just been one of them nights for me. You know, that's the way it goes sometimes. If you ain't got the right bait, you know, yeah, it's hard to catch. But anyway, I'm going to stick it out for a little bit longer. I think this tide run's easing off now, because that's the other thing that hasn't really helped tonight. Where the tide run's been so strong, you know, you wait and your bait's being dragged round, or either side, whichever way the tide's running. And if it's not pinned to the bottom, it's hard to, you know, it's hard for the fish to find it. But yeah, it's just one of them nights. But yeah, I'll bring you back if I get anything, but I'm not feeling too optimistic. I don't know if you can see me very well. The fog's creeped in out of nowhere. It's not that thick, but you know, I'm not sure if the camera can pick it up very well. I'm going to call it a night anyway, I think. Stuck it out for another 20-30 minutes after the other two left. It's getting on for 2.5 hours into the ebb now, and I still haven't had a take. Tide run's eased off now, but yeah, it's just not happening. So yeah, I'm going to pack up, get home, probably watch a film or something. But yeah, as I said earlier, I don't think the hardbacks have worked for me tonight. The water was a bit too coloured, I think. You know, probably would have been better with a bit of peeler like the other two had. But yeah, not much I can do about that. I'm not going to go out and pay £2 a crab. You know, I can go and collect the hardbacks for free myself. But yeah, just the way it is. So yeah, it looks like first blank for me tonight for the year. Probably won't be my last. You know, I'm sure I'll have a few more, especially when that weed kicks in. You know, it can be quite tough then if your bait's getting covered in weed. But yeah, as I said, just one of them nights. I'm back out again in a couple of days. I've got 4 days off work. Tides are a lot better then as well. The sort of midnight-ish high tides, building tides as well. I'm going to have 3 hours of the flood in darkness, which is, you know, the best time to pick up the hounds. So we'll see how that goes. I'll see you on the next one then, I guess. Hopefully it's a better one. Thanks for watching anyway. Cheers, guys.